The man of the moment, the Odogun right now, Richard Niamakwe, he celebrated his birthday just this past weekend, right? In some of his videos on social media, in his recent interview, the interview that he did with Bolare, he was wearing a ring on his middle finger, which is believed to be a red coral ring. The ring had a red coral stone. And Richard Niamakwe is an Aries. Hello, everyone. This is Walks. Welcome to Chow Walks. Today we'll be talking about the language of the stars. We do know that everything in the universe is connected, right? Everything is interlinked. According to, entanglement theory, which is under quantum physics, quantum mechanics, nothing is truly independent. Nothing is, entirely independent. We are all affected by one another in the universe. Even the universe as a whole, we are all affected by one another because, we are made up of wave, particles, energy. Every single life form, every single living being that you can think of that exists on Earth, in the universe as a whole, we are all interlinked because we are all made of energy, particles. And, if there are some research that has been done, the lunar cycle, we know that when the moon begins its cycle around the Earth, right, its orbit around the Earth, right, it affects the Earth's tides, right? There are also some research that has been done by some scholars that is believed that based on their findings, based on their observation, it is believed that a lady that has her period coinciding with the full moon, that lady, the tendency or the possibility that she'll get pregnant is very, very high if she's to engage in any sort of sexual activity. So that is because in that moment, in that around that period, she's in perfect synchronization. Her menstrual cycle is in perfect synchronization with the lunar cycle. So because of that, it is believed, according to that research, that the tendency that she'll get pregnant is very, very high. So basically, she becomes hyper fertile. You understand? But even with that one, the findings on that research is very, very much controversial in the science society. So you can take that one with a pinch of salt. But let's get into astrology, the language of the stars. What is astrology? Astrology is being able to predict life events or reading into human personality traits or behaviors based on the placements of planetary bodies and luminary bodies, which is the sun and the moon. The constellation being the zodiac signs. The zodiac signs, as we all know, or most of you know, is the Aries, the Libras, the Sagittarius, the Capricorns, the Taurus, the Virgos, and so on and so forth. We have different types of astrologies. We have the Vedic astrology, we have the Chinese astrology, we have the Mayan astrology, we have the Western astrology. The Western astrology is the one that we famously know. It's the one that if you are to Google probably your birthday or you just want to find any sort of information on the internet, it's the Western astrology that they will base their information on if you are to like do any sort of research. But just like I said, there are other types of astrology. We have the electional astrology, we have the medical astrology, and the others. And, astrology has had an influence on even our calendrical systems. Before the Gregorian calendar came into place, there was the Julian calendar. And astrology had a huge influence on the Julian calendar. And the Julian calendar was used for over 1,600 years before the Gregorian calendar came into place. Why do people even like astrology? People like astrology because they see it as a guide to, self-discovery. They see it as a guide to understanding some whys in relation to their behavioral patterns, traits, and so on and so forth. Some people like astrology because, hey, it's a trend. It's a popular trend amongst the Gen Zs. I mean, we have zodiac sign features in our social media apps like Snapchat, even Instagram. When you go on Snapchat, if you have to look at the user profile of anyone that you want to get to know, you see there's star sign compatibility between you and that person. You see the basic information about the person's sun sign or the zodiac sign on the person's user profile. Also, you see the person's gemstone in relation to his or her zodiac signs. I think we all know. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So people like this because it's a popular trend. Even with Bumble and Tinder, which are popular dating apps that is being used, nowadays in our current times. Bumble has a very popular zodiac sign filter that is used to filter out matches, like potential matches when you are looking for someone on these apps. So yeah, these are some of the reasons why people like astrology. And also, even in our society, the man of the moment, the Odogun right now, Richard Niamakwe, he celebrated his birthday just this past weekend, right? In some of his videos on social media, in his recent interview, the interview that he did with Bolare, he was wearing a ring on his middle finger, which is believed to be a red coral ring. The ring had a red coral stone. And Richard Niamakwe is an Aries. Was born in the month of March, and he's an Aries because people that are born, I think from the 20th, they're about 20th of March, they're about going, are associated with the zodiac sign Aries, right? And Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. And Mars, according to Vedic astrology, Mars's gemstone is the red coral stone. And Richard Niamakwe was wearing that ring with a red coral stone in it on his middle finger. And there are multiple other videos that has been circulating on social media that shows him wearing that same particular ring on his middle finger. So based on this observation, I even say that Richard Niamakwe is a believer of astrology. He's a believer of astrology because, I mean, hey, and it's also advised that people that are Aries or are Aries associate themselves with the Aries sign are advised to wear or have around them that gemstone, the red coral stone, right? Because it helps heighten the positive effects of the qualities of Mars, which is assertion, confidence, power, courage, determination, decisiveness, and also lessen or negate the bad effects of the qualities of Mars, which is, indecisiveness, rashness, anger issues, and so on and so forth. You understand? So, in a way, these people, I saw comments where people are like, oh, Richard Niamakwe, every time these rich people, they don't show us the way. They'll be coming up with all sort of stories that seems outrageous, seems unthinkable. Why don't they show us the legit way as to how they make their money? I think they give subtle hints. You just have to observe. Because if you want to see one of the ways, he believes in probably astrology. Let's say allegedly, because he hasn't come out to say that. But based on the red coral ring that I've been seeing him wear in some of his videos that has been circulating on social media, you can say that he's a believer of astrology. Understand? And hard work, having drive, passion, and discipline can actually help you achieve your goals, can actually help you like become a successful person or even a wealthy person. But you need other pillars. You need other supporting pillars to keep on propelling you higher and higher. And I feel like some of these things are looking at stuff like how do I align myself with the universe's energy? How do I be in tune with myself to know that, okay, this is what's going to help me push or fuel my drive? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So they be giving hints. Just observe, and you'll see them. Even if you have to even put Ronald Niamakwe aside, we have other influential people like J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan was a very prominent and influential person in the banking and financial world of the 19th and 20th century in the United States of America. He was an avid believer of astrology too. He even had a teacher. The teacher was called Evangeline Adams. And this Evangeline Adams taught J.P. Morgan most of the things, he knew about astrology. There's a famous statement or phrase, okay, that they say that he made in an interview that goes by, millionaires don't use astrology, but billionaires do. Yeah, some people come out to say that he didn't actually make that statement, but we are not going to focus on that. Because if you Google it on the internet, with that statement that I say, word for word, when you see that, it's associated with J.P. Morgan. We also have Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's wife. Ronald Reagan's wife, that's the first lady at that time. I've forgotten the name. I've forgotten the name. But the first lady of that time, the 1980s, Ronald Reagan was the president of the United States of America in the 1980s. Before, Ronald Reagan's wife always sort of like, let me use this phrase, consulted the stars, read the stars. In order to like, he used it as a tool to protect her husband's life. He also always told, her husband to hold on when, he's about to make a mega decision that's going to affect, the nation as a whole. She always told the husband to hold on. Let me consult the stars. Let me read into the stars to see what is going to be beneficial, what is going to be the best possible path before you make the decision. Understand? So yeah, these are some of the people that, believed in astrology and in a way applied it to their life. However, people also dislike astrology. People dislike astrology because they say it reinforces stereotypes. They also say that people use it as a means of escape from accountability. And because of these, points that I've just mentioned, once someone is getting to know someone, okay, probably a romantic entanglement or just a platonic entanglement, once the person gets to know that you have the slightest interest in astrology or like probably zodiac signs, he or she's just gonna pop the balloon and just step back.
37, okay. Virgo. Oh no. Oh.
But astrology is something very complex. If you want to get into it, I want you to put in your head that it's a lifetime something. It's a lifetime journey of learning, because you are reading into the placement of our planetary bodies and the luminary bodies in our cosmos. And those things are ever changing. They're always moving. There are a whole lot of things that goes into that. So you always discover something new. You're always going to learn something new. Look, right now, if you have to go on the internet, okay, let's say you want to know, let's talk about zodiac signs. I'm a Taurus. Okay. So if I'm to go on the internet right now and type, what is my zodiac sign? The first thing they're going to ask me is, what's my birthday? I punch my birthday, right? My zodiac sign that they're going to give me is Taurus. But that's just my sun sign. And the information they're going to give me about my sun sign is just a generalized information that has been sort of like, that is aimed at every single Taurus person that is out here on Earth. But there is more to it than that. There are a lot of things that influences your sun sign. You have the rising sign, you have the houses, you have the planets, you have the elements. We even have, there's something called modality. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. You have to have your entire natal chart or your birth chart to know your distinct personality, to know that, okay, this is Daniel Taurus, this is Timothy Taurus, this is probably Sandra Virgo. We are all different in our own special way. So sometimes people put a statement that, I just dislike astrology because I've not read so much about it, but I just dislike it because it just, based on what I've heard from people, it sounds crap. But you have to get into it yourself, read into it, delve into it, know what it entails, know what it actually contains before you can make a stance and say that, this is something that you're not interested in. This is something that doesn't sync with you. You get what I mean? But hey, to each his own, right? It's either you believe in the fate of the stars or you just don't. Once again, my name is Walks, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.